The last lesson question and answers part 2. 22. Will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? What does this sentence suggest? Once, during the class of handwriting, little Franz heard pigeons cooing very low on the roof. Very soon Franz thought to himself as, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? It was a childish thought, yet it had another connotation also. The German order to teach only German language in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine gripped him so much that he was bound to think so. 23. What was Franz expected to be prepared with for school that day? Uns, Hamel asked his students for homework in the last class. In consequence, Franz was expected to be prepared with the rules for participles that day. As Hamel would question the students on participles. Unfortunately, Franz did not know the first word about them, which made him scared. 24. What had been put in the bulletin board that morning? Uns, in consequence of the Franco-Prussian War, 1870-71. France had to surrender to border districts, Alsace and Lorraine to German government. So, an order had been passed from Berlin to teach only German language in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine and it had been put in the bulletin board. 25. Why was the lesson called last lesson? Uns, France was defeated by Prussia in the Franco-Prussian War. France had surrendered Alsace and Lorraine to German government. So, an order came from Berlin to teach only German language in the surrendered districts since tomorrow. That was why the lesson taken by Hamel was called the last lesson. 26. What was the commotion that Franz anticipated in the classroom? Uns, in the last lesson on French language, Franz anticipated an unusual commotion instead of usual bustle of opening and closing of desk, repetition of lessons loud in unison, rapping of iron ruler on the table. Every student was in their seat quiet and calm. A pin-drop silence prevailed like Sunday morning. 27. Why did Franz want to spend his day out of doors? Uns, Franz was in great dread starting for school late and for his inaccomplishment of homework on participles. Instead, the sunny morning, the songs of little birds, and the drilling of the Prussian soldiers caught hold his attention. So he wanted to spend the day out of doors for a moment. 28. Why was there a crowd in front of the bulletin board? Uns, during the last 2 years of Franco-Prussian War, the bad news were displayed in the bulletin board for the anticipation of the Alsatian. Being defeated, France surrendered Alsace and Lorraine to German. In consequence, the German order to teach only German language in the schools Alsace and Lorraine was put in the board. So, crowd was there that day. 29. How did narrator take the last lesson in grammar and with what effect? Uns, Franz was in great pain at the news that Hamel announced in a grave and gentle tone. He repented for not learning his lesson in time. So, he took the last lesson in grammar explained by Hamel patiently with full concentration. In consequence, Franz understood grammar very quickly. 30. Why were the old men of the village present in the classroom? Uns, the old men were sitting in the classroom with mournful faces. Franz thought that they also, like him, were sorry for not having gone to school often. So, they were present that day on the benches to thank Hamel for his 40 years of sincere service and to show their respect for the country that was theirs no more. 31. Why did Hamel look at everything in the classroom and why? Uns, during the handwriting class, while all the students were busy in work, Hamel remained motionless in his chair. He looked at one thing and then another without a single blink. He gazed so as if he wanted to fix the images of those things in his heart before parting. 32. What was Franz expected to be prepared with for school that day? Ans. Franz was expected to be prepared with participles for school that day. 33. What did Franz notice that was unusual about the school that day? Ans. The silence in the school was very unusual that day. The presence of the village elders was something that was noticed only on that day. 34. What had been put up on the bulletin board? Ans. The order of imposition of German language was put up on the bulletin board. 35. What changes did the order from Berlin cause in the school that day? Ans. The entire school wore a somber and gloomy look, children were silent, village elders were present in the classroom and Hamel was in his special dress. 36. How did Franz's feeling about Hamel and school change? Ans. Franz's feeling about the school and his teacher changed when he heard that it was the last day of French learning in school and the last day for Hamel as well. He would never probably see his teacher ever again. 37. What did Franz think when he passed by the bulletin board? Ans. When Franz passed by the bulletin board and saw the crowd around it, he wondered what could be the next bad news. 38. What did Franz think when the blacksmith told him not to hurry? Ans. When the blacksmith watcher told him not to hurry and that he had plenty of time, Franz thought he was being laughed at for already being so late to school. 39. How do people realize the importance of their language? Ans. It was only when imposition order came from Berlin that the French in Alsace and Lorraine woke up to the importance and the preciousness of their language. They realize its importance when they have already lost it. 40. Why did Hamel write Vive la France on the blackboard? Ans. Vive la France means long live France. Hamel wrote it on the board as a tribute to the country and the language they had lost to the German. He desired to instill a sense of spirit in the young minds. 41. What is the underlying message of the story The Last Lesson? Ans. The story comes with a message for its readers. It shows what happens when we do not take pride in our country or our language. Patriotism is an essential quality in each and every citizen in order to safeguard one's motherland culture and language.